In Pennsylvania, Tony Toto and his wife Frances lived a life that, from the outside, seemed deceptively perfect. 17 years of marriage, 4 children, in a small pizza restaurant that brought the family together every day around the aroma of dough and hot sauce. But behind this warm facade, a dark secret was brewing silently. Frances discovered her husband's infidelity. The quiet, kind woman, known only for her gentleness, crumbled inside. Anger, grief, and betrayal mingled, transforming into something far more dangerous. A murderous decision. She decided to make Tony pay, but she didn't know that fate held a story stranger than fiction. za.maimouni. It began with poison. She slipped sleeping pills and other toxic substances into his food and drink. Tony ate without hesitation and suddenly fell ill. He was rushed to the hospital where he spent 12 days fighting for his life. The doctors were baffled, but he survived. He came home pale and weak and smiled at her, as if nothing had happened, as if fate were whispering to her, "Not now." The second attempt, she decided to make his death look like an accident. She tampered with his car's wiring, trying to blow it up. But she made a mistake. Nothing exploded. And all Tony noticed was that the engine sounded a little strange. The third and fourth attempts, she hired 2 teenagers from the neighborhood and promised them money. She asked them to pretend to rob him and beat him to death with a baseball bat. But when they confronted him, they hesitated. Light blows, panic, and a run. Tony woke up bleeding, bewildered, not understanding what had happened. As for Frances, she played the role of the shocked wife brilliantly. Thieves! They broke into the house. The fifth attempt. The end that wasn't the end. On a fateful night in 1983, Frances decided to leave nothing to chance. She prepared a heavy meal for him, laced with a large dose of sleeping pills. She waited until he was fast asleep. Then she gave the signal. The 2 teenagers entered the room. One of them fired 2 shots, one into his chest and the other into the back of his head. But something unbelievable happened. The sleeping pills she had given him earlier had unexpectedly slowed his bleeding. He didn't die. He remained alive, in a daze. He could hear his wife whispering calmly beside him, "Don't worry, Tony. You just have the flu." Later, doctors discovered that the bullet in his head had never been removed, and it remains there to this day, a silent witness to a failed murder attempt. Just 5 days later, one of the perpetrators broke down and confessed everything. The police arrested Frances. She was sitting calmly in front of the television, drinking her coffee, watching a crime drama as if she were seeing her own story unfold on the screen. But the biggest surprise came from Tony. After 12 days in the hospital, he walked out on his own 2 feet. And the first thing he did wasn't seek revenge. He paid his wife's bail to get her released. In court, he stood with a trembling voice and said, "Yes, she tried to kill me, but I love her. I forgive her, and I ask for your mercy." Frances was sentenced to 4 years in prison. During that time, Tony spoke to her daily on the phone, and when she was released, they were together again. They became the most famous couple in America, a couple whose love survived poison, explosions, bullets, and madness. The story of Tony and Frances Toto is not just a crime, but a strange testament to the fact that love sometimes can survive even death itself.